This conference will now be recorded.
This is an overview session with respect to Selenium with uh, Python, so which is for UI automation. So as a part of this, we will see overview on automation and Selenium. This is what our today's agenda. And one more thing before to discuss about this overview on automation, what is Selenium, what are the tools in the market, there is something. So if you see the agenda, so I will be discussing these below things. Like if you can see what is software testing. This already you know guys, but please to have some patience. Let other people may understand this as well. Challenges in manual testing. Also, how does an automation tools work, or if it is with respect to Selenium, so we'll write our code. So it is an automation tool. So I can say how does an automation tool works. And coming to the jargon, the tools of automation, Selenium is one of the popular tools. So what is Selenium that we'll be discussing today? Advantages, right? Disadvantages, also limitations. So these are all the things which we will be discussing. Post that at last, we'll also discuss Selenium suite. Selenium. So this is what our today's agenda. Also, we'll discuss about syllabus, which we'll be covering extensively in this particular course. Post this, bridge is open for doubts. This is what our today's agenda. And one more thing I want to confirm you guys, whatever I teach, for everything you will get dedicated material. So at the end of the day, you need material to revise all these things at one place. So you will get dedicated material as well for every concept in detailed way. So no need to worry. Just try to follow this particular class. That's it. Not only this particular class, going ahead, all the classes as well. So without wasting time, I'll be going to discuss all these things. So post this session, you will get the material as well, PDF as well, that I'll be sharing to your personal mail IDs, which you have already shared only for registered members. So if you can see, if we talk about this particular concept, what is automation, what is Selenium, so these are all the things which we need to discuss. But before this, there are some basic things which we need to understand. Like if you can see, what is a software, types of softwares, what is the project, these are all the things which you might be already knowing, but I see most of the people attending to my class, they even don't know the basics. So first day, today I'll be discussing most important basic things which every automation tester, leave about automation tester, it's only about whenever you are a software engineer. So these are the basic things which you might be knowing, which you already know, which you want to know in advance. So if you can see, first terminology, if you are a software engineer, you should know meaning of software. So what is software? So software is a collection of computer programs. Collection of computer programs. Very, very important thing. So why we need program? Why we need collection of programs? So these collections of programs are designed to perform specific task. To perform specific task. So if anybody asks you what is software, it's a collection of computer programs designed to perform specific task. So if you can see, let me talk about this Windows operating system. So whenever you switch on this Windows operating system, definitely lot of processes are running in the background. Let me show you that example. When you open this task manager, Control Shift Escape, this is what the shortcut. So if you can see, this is what the task manager. When you open or when you start your Windows operating system, lot of processes. So these are all the programs, these are all the softwares which they will be running in the background. So to operate, to work on this Windows operating system, you need these background softwares or processes as well. So these background softwares or processes are nothing but it is a software. It's a collection of computer programs designed to perform specific tasks. Fine, that is fine. Hey Lakshmi, you said it's a software, it's a collection of computer programs. How many types of softwares we are having? So if you can see types of softwares, types of softwares. So very important. You might be already knowing this. So if you can see, first type is system software. System software. So another type of software is programming software. Programming software, very important thing. Next one is application software. Application software. So these are different types of softwares available in the market. So any software which you see in the market falls under these particular categories. So when I talk about system software, what are the examples of system software? Like device drivers. Device drivers. See, operating systems. Operating system. It's also a system software operating system. All right. So similarly, servers, utilities. So these are and all falls under system softwares. Very important thing which you need to know. Now, when you see device drivers, operating systems, like servers, utilities, and even more examples of system softwares, these are primarily responsible for computer hardware managing and provides a platform for other softwares to run as well. So if you can see what is their primary need, actually if you can see, primarily manages, so computer hardware. So if you can see, all the softwares used to manage computer hardwares. So this laptop, right, is consisting of hardwares. If you want to manage this hardware, you need some software. These type of softwares are called as system softwares. Then what about these programming softwares? So generally, if you are from any automation testing background, or from developing background, or from any another arena, so you might be knowing this. What are programming softwares? Like if you can see, compilers, right? Compilers are programming softwares. Similarly, debuggers. So similarly, interpreters. So these are different type of programming softwares. So why we need programming softwares? So generally they will be helpful for developing, for developers in creating, testing, debugging software applications. To create software applications, to create software applications, to create software applications, we need programming softwares, whether it can be programming softwares. So if you can see, whether you are a tester, whether you are a developer, without this you can't develop a big enterprise applications. Programming softwares are necessary for developing big enterprise applications. Right now you are attending this particular session on go to meeting place by this platform, right? This is a big enterprise software which developed by using programming softwares. So this is one of the type of software. So there we need compilers, debuggers, interpreters as well. So our course is mainly focused on Python. Python is an interpreted language, not a compiler language. So whether it is Python, whether it is Java, whether it is any language, whether they falls under any types of categories, you need debuggers to debug the code so that you will find some errors. This is what some common thing. But coming to programming softwares, these are the things which are there in place. Now, what are the different type of softwares available in the market? So if you can see some examples, like web applications, web applications. So Amazon, Flipkart, eBay. So these are all big enterprise e-commerce applications. So this is one type of web application. So coming to see, you can see in mobile. Coming to mobile apps, you have a lot of things in Google Play Store, like Apple Store. These comes under mobile applications. So if you can see web applications, mobile applications, as well as desktop applications, desktop applications. So these are different type of applications, softwares available in the market. So it's also one of the type of software. Any software we to take in this world, wherever you go, you have only these three categories: system software, programming software, as well as application software. So we have seen what are these, what they meant for. So coming to these application softwares, what they directly, if you take off this Amazon e-commerce application, so what they do, they directly serve end users for providing to provide services, or to take the services from by using their platform. So if you can see, so they directly end users serves end users. So this is what about application software. So as a software tester, as a software engineer, as a software developer, so these are all the basic things. There are a lot of things which I need to discuss. So without knowing this, you will not be called as a full-fledged software engineer or a software tester. And one more important thing, so we need to discuss what is a project. Once you know how many types of softwares available in the market, it's time to know what is a project. What is a project? Guys, it is one of the most important interview question which other people will not be knowing. Project versus product. What is a product? So error. What is an error? What is a bug? What is a defect? Bug or defect, both are same. If you can see, these are the things which we need to discuss. And at last, we need to discuss what is a failure. So these are important things which you need to understand. So if you can see, what is a project? So when I talk about project, so if a software is developed for a specific customer based on their requirements, you take about a simple banking application. So in India, there are lot of banks. For every bank, they need software. Whatever the software which is developed for one particular bank, it will not be useful for another bank. So each and every bank, based on their requirements, they will ask some IT companies to develop a software. So that software is only specific to that particular bank. You can take this particular analysis. So developed, so software developed for a specific customer. So based on their requirements. So you can simply analyze this to some banking applications. So project is nothing but, so generally when you are hired as an automation test engineer or QA engineer or SDET or SDE, so if you are serving for any service based company, they will deploy you to work on behalf of that company to that particular client. So that particular client is a specific customer, right? For that specific customer, you are working to develop some software based on their requirements. So this is what about project. So when I talk about project, software developed for specific customer based on their requirements, it is nothing but project. Then what about project? Hey Lakshmi, you have clearly told about project. Then what's about product? So when I talk about product, Microsoft Office 365 is what a product. So you just think this by common sense. When I talk about this Microsoft Office 365, or leave about this, take another application, Microsoft PPT, PowerPoint presentation. This is only one software which is used by multiple people. So nothing but multiple customers. So if a software is developed for multiple customers as per market requirements, you need to understand this very carefully. So in market, nothing but in customer world, in client world, you'll be having lot of people. every people will be having lot of requirements. So when you develop any software, that particular software need to fulfill all customer requirements, all market requirements. So maximum it needs to try to satisfy all people's requirements, all I can say market requirements in short. So if you develop any software which is meant for multiple customers, so multiple customers are there in the market, based on their requirements, if you develop any software, that particular software, I can call that as an product. This is what about product, this is what about project. You need to understand this very very carefully. Again I am saying, students who are attending to my class, I have seen lot of people, they don't know even what is a project, what is a product, even what is a software also, how many types of softwares available also. So generally, if you are a fresher or if you are even more experienced, you need to know these particular things. Then what is an error? Another type of thing which you need to know, error. So when I talk about error, so when I see any human action that produces incorrect result, so let me take some calculator. So if you can see it here, if I take some calculator, if I provide some good values, if I provide some proper values, it will give me some proper result. Suppose if you are working in some software application, if you are developing some code, that particular code asks for user input. Based on that particular user input, it will try to act. If human provides incorrect value or incorrect result, so definitely it will raise some error. So that is nothing but an error. So if you can see, let me take some PyCharm. So guys, don't those who don't know what is PyCharm, all these things I will get, you know, don't worry for now. I'm just taking this. So if you can see, this is what robot framework for the previous batch. Let me open this. Let me take this is for the previous batch, which we have covered extensively. So if you can see, I'm just some I'm creating some module here. So if you can see it here, I'm just creating some test module. For your understanding, I'm just creating this. So what I will do, so if you can see it here, let me do one thing. Let me take some name from the command line. So int of, so if you can see, so what I will do, input, this is what the input method which will ask for the user input from the command line. So enter name of the user. So if you can see, this is what the prompt which I am asking for the user when I execute this particular code. Now what I will do, once I get this particular name, I will just, if you can see, I will just, if you can see it here, I will just, try to add it with some 20. This is what some basic example might be, it might be wrong. But for your understanding, I'm just taking this. So if you can see, I'm just running this particular test. So when I run this particular test module, you can see it is prompting for the user input. Let me take here, my name is Lakshmi. So if you can see it here, it is raising some error. So that might be type error, value error, key error. So a lot of errors are there, which we'll be discussing whenever we are going to discuss this exception handling. But for now, you need to understand this particular error concept. So any incorrect, because of this Lakshmi, I was not able to add to 20. This is an integer. This is somewhat string. So string plus integer addition is not at all possible because of this particular thing which is provided by the user. It has raised some error. So any incorrect human action, this is an action entering some input that produces incorrect result, it is called as an error. So if you can see it here, if I write it clearly, so any incorrect or I can say human action, in simple I can say human action that produces incorrect result is called as an error. So because of this particular thing, it has raised some error. This is what an incorrect human action. So this is what the human action, it has produced me some incorrect result. This is what an error. Then what about bug? What about bug or defect? Very very important terminology, bug or defect. So generally, if you attend for any interviews, they will ask you bug life cycle. So before going to make them understand what is bug life cycle, you need to clearly convey that what is a bug or what is a defect. So any deviation, deviation from expected behavior to actual behavior, actual behavior. See, because of some issue, it should behave normally, but without behaving normally, it is behaving in some unexpected way. So there is a deviation between actual as well as expected, right? So any deviation from expected behavior to actual behavior of the system. So system or software, anything I can call, it is called as an bug or defect. Let me take some Gmail application. So Gmail application. Generally, when you will log in into Gmail application, when you provide valid credentials. So when you provide valid credentials only, you will be able to log in into the Gmail application. This is what the expected behavior. But even though if you provide some invalid credentials, if you are able to log in, then it is not an expected scenario, right? So this is what the deviation between actual and unexpected. So if there is any deviation between expected and actual, you can call that it is a bug. If it is not working as per your expected things, as per business requirements, as per client expectation, then definitely it is nothing but a bug or a defect. This is what a simple example which you can just analyze. Now, what is a failure? You need to understand. Once you understand this bug, then it's time to understand what is failure. Suppose you are working in a corporate company. There are four environments which you might already be knowing. One is dev environment. Post this, you will have QA environment. Post this, you will have UAT environment where business people will come in picture and they will do some testing. Post this, production environment, prod. Generally, you call this as prod environment, right? Dev environment, developers place where they will develop the code. Once they do unit testing, they will deploy that particular code into QA. So QA people will come into picture and they will test that particular software or a feature or a bug, anything. Now, once they provide sign off, UAT people will come in picture. So the code which is there in QA will be deployed to UAT environment by using some pipelines that we'll be discussing at last of this particular course. So once how you can use this, GitHub. So how you can try to run that particular code in the pipelines, that we'll see at last. But for now, don't bother about it all. You don't know anything. Keep that in mind. Just attend this particular session. So generally we have four environments. Post dev you have QA, post QA you have UAT, post UAT you will just release that particular software in versions in production environment. Generally there is a bug, but that is not identified by QA, that is not identified by UAT people, but the customer or the client which is using this particular production environment have identified that particular bug. So that particular bug or deviation identified by the end user in the production environment, that is called as an failure. So the deviation the deviation the deviation identified by end user while using the system while using the system is called as an failure. Generally, if you are from a testing background, so whether you are a manual tester, you might be already knowing some things in automation testing. These failure generally you will call as PRBs or incidents. PRBs or incidents. So incident or PRB, see maybe they might be different for you. Generally, see PRBs or incidents or the deviations or the bugs raised in the production environment who are using that particular system. So failures, nothing but deviations identified by end user while using that particular system is called as failure. Generally, this particular failure in companies or in IT terminology, in our industry, IT industry, we will call them as PRBs or incidents. This is what the thing which you might be knowing prior. But when you are learning this particular course, these are the things which you need to know. So whatever I teach, everything needs to be covered from the basics. Otherwise there is no meaning for the thing. I could have started this Selenium, Python, all the stuff for today, but this is not my intention. So I am making you clear all these particular things now. Once you have understood this software, once you have understood some terminology, then the thing which you need to know is, why do we need software testing? Before going to know what is a software testing, first of all, why I need to do software testing? Why I need to do software testing? Very important interview question. Anybody will say, what is software testing? Means testing that particular software is nothing but, in a simple words, anybody will say. But before that, they will ask you, yes, you will be doing software testing. Why do you need software testing? Why do we need software testing? This is what the first question they will ask you. Why do we need software testing? Why do we need software testing? So if they ask you, or any interviewer, or relay about this interview, generally you might be knowing this particular answer. So ensure software is bug free. So generally, any software which you develop, after developing, definitely at the end of that you will release that particular product into the market. So there are a lot of competitors in the market. If there is any issue in your software, if your product is a buggy product, generally your market base will shift from you to another customer. There is a large loss of a huge I mean, there you can get a huge business loss, right? So to avoid that business loss, generally we will ensure that software is a bug free. So to make software a bug free product, we need software testing. Also, once you develop any software, that particular software should meet customer requirements. So to ensure software meets customer requirements, right? So after meeting some customer requirements, also generally customer will specify some specifications, that that particular software should have these particular specifications, all this stuff along with the requirements, nothing but functional requirements. He also specifies some specifications, software specifications, to ensure that software meets customer requirements and software specifications. To make them very clear, we will do this software testing, software specifications. Also, once you develop any software, it should meet end user expectations. So to ensure software meets end user expectations, we need software testing, right? Absolutely fine. Generally, when you develop any software, if you miss any issue in all these environments, that issue is identified in the production environment. That is nothing but PRBs or incidents, or also I can call it as failures. Generally, you will not call them as failures, but you'll call them as failures. Coming to IT terminology, this failure is called as an PRB or incident. Fine. This is absolutely fine. If you miss any of the bug in these environments, if that particular bug is identified in the production environment, definitely again developer's time is required to fix that particular failure or bug, right? Tester's time is required. So for developer and for tester, there are some priority items. If there is anything in the production environment, it is taken as P1 issue, nothing but priority 1 issue that needs to be resolved as soon as possible. So his deliverables are also delayed. We need to pay extra to him, we need to pay extra to tester, we need to pay extra to UAT people. So all of these things are there in place if we miss anything in these lower environments. So to avoid this, we need software testing. So if you can see, fixing the bugs identified after release after release is more expensive. So for this particular point, there is one thing which is recently happened. Microsoft dead error, right? So this is what they have conveyed as because of some CrowdStrike, which is a cyber security platform which will ensure that Microsoft products will be having some security against these cyber threats. So what they have done, so because of some particular update, so there is no compatibility between the infrastructure, this particular issue has been arised. So because see, they would have tested this thoroughly, but they might have missed some basic things. So that is also nothing but a failure, that is also nothing but a bug. Because of that particular bug, how many things are affected? Service sector is affected, aviation sector is affected. Lot of companies, production applications have gone down because of some issue. So before releasing, before doing patching, before doing anything, you need software testing to ensure all these things are working perfectly. You need software testing. Now here comes the real picture. What is a software testing? Yes, you need software testing. Then what is software testing? What is software testing? This is what you need to understand. So when I talk about software testing, it's an activity to check whether whether actual results whether actual results match with expected results. So it's an activity. So testing is an activity to check whether actual results match with expected results. So once they match, definitely that particular software is a defect free software. So where you will get these expected results, or give you about these actual results, generally there is some documents which they will specify, customer will specify some expected results. So generally if you are developing any project from scratch, you will need FRS documents, you will need BRS documents, all right, system specification documents as well, SPS, system specification documents as well. So these are all the things which they will specify expected results. Functional requirement specifications, business requirement specifications, software requirement specifications, SRS documents. So in these particular documents, you will have expected results. So you need to check whether the system or the software which is developed, whether it is matching, whether the actual results will matching expected results or not. So it's an activity to check whether actual results match with expected results or not. So after doing this an activity, what you will do, you will ensure that that software sorry is defect free, for ensuring the software which you develop is a defect free software. You will do software testing. So generally these particular software testing you will do in two ways. One is a manual way, so you can call that as manual testing. So what is that? Another way is by using automation tools. So you will develop some automation uh, 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 script. So with the help of any of the tools, whether it is Selenium, Cypress, Playwright, Robot Framework, or there are a lot of tools in the market. So to do software testing, you are having these type of ways. One is manual testing, one is automation testing. Right, we'll discuss this manual testing, we'll discuss this automation testing. So coming to manual testing, I will only cover some basics with respect to manual testing. But coming to automation testing, we will cover extensively. Starting from Python, it will be divided into some multiple modules that I will be discussing with you the syllabus as well. So please wait for some time. Yes, you will do software testing. So you will do some activity to check actual results are matching with expected results or not. So this is what an software testing. In how many levels you do software testing? In how many levels you do software testing? First thing, why you need software testing? What is a software testing? So once you know what is software testing, you need to know how many levels. How many levels you will do software testing? Levels of testing. So first level as a part of this is unit testing. Unit testing. So let me write it very clearly. Unit testing. Very, very important things, guys. These are all the basics which we are covering in this class today. Next thing is integration testing. Integration testing. Integration testing. Now, post this, you will have system testing. System testing. Also, at last, you will have UAT testing. UAT testing. So, when I talk about this unit testing, unit means a piece, a module, a feature. I can call that as an unit. So, when you talk about this unit testing, what you will do, you will test individual component, individual individual component. So testing individual component, it is called as an unit testing. When I say unit, it is nothing but a component, it is nothing but a feature, right? So you can call this as this particular terminology, whether it is a component, whether it is a feature, is called as an unit. So generally unit testing is performed by developers. These performed by developers. So developers, they by self will return the code. After writing the code, they know what that code behaves, how that code behaves, what the code is. So this type of testing comes under white box testing. white box testing White box testing. So unit testing is nothing but testing individual component. Component is also called as a feature. So component or feature is nothing but an unit. So generally developers will perform unit testing. So they already know the code. So that particular thing, I can call that as a white box testing. So coming to integration testing. So like, suppose you take login feature in the Gmail, or you can take off, there is an Amazon application. In the Amazon application, you have different microservices working parallelly. Lot of microservices, whether it is let me take two things. One is login functionality, registration functionality, search functionality, products page functionality. So lot of these functionalities, these features, these components are working parallelly. So each particular component is nothing but an unit. So generally multiple developers are working parallelly to develop that particular Amazon application, big application. So at the end of the day, what you will do, whatever the components or the features which you develop, you will integrate at one place. So after integrating at one place, you will perform some testing. That type of testing is called as an integration testing. Integration testing. So what is an integration testing? Testing integrated component. Integrated component is called as an integrated testing. So generally developers also will perform this particular integration testing. So post this integration testing, QA people will come in picture. So once they integrate all the components in place, QA people will come into picture. They will test all the system. So with all the scenarios, with all the possible scenarios, developers might not be doing each and every scenario. So that helps for system, right? But QA people will be knowing all the scenarios, right? So with all the possible scenarios, with all the possible business requirements, they will perform some system testing. So testing entire system, testing entire system entire system is called as an system testing. Who will do system testing? QA people will come in picture and they will do system testing. Generally you just tell me, by common sense, QA people will not know any code what developer has written. So if they don't know any code what developers has written, this particular system testing, as like unit testing, falls under black box testing. Black box testing. Black box testing. So this is another type of system testing. Now, what is user acceptance testing, or I can say acceptance test? User acceptance testing, where UAT people will come in picture. So once QA people will provide sign off in the QA environment, UAT people will come in picture. So what they will do, they will test the final system. So they'll test the final system in UAT environment. This is nothing but a UAT testing. So these are four levels of testing which we'll be having whenever you are performing this software testing. Out of these things, again, system testing is categorized into some different types. So it is very very important. Generally in the system testing only, you will have functional testing as well as non-functional testing. So if you talk about this system testing, you'll have GUI testing. GUI testing, what is GUI testing? Graphical user interface testing. So generally this GUI testing checks buttons, icons, screens, right? So after whether they are is visible correctly or not, they have proper size or not, whether they are trying to visible correctly or not. So for all these things you will do graphical user interface testing. So you will click the buttons, you will check the layout, you will check the spellings, all these things you will do as a part of GUI testing. So this is GUI testing is as a part of system testing. Now once GUI testing is completed, you will do usability testing. Usability testing. This name itself says usability, using. Once you develop any system, that should be very, very easy to use. So generally, every customer will not be knowing some technicalities. So end user must easily understand the system, how it needs to be used, for making sure that it is very simple, very easy to use that particular system. You will go for this usability testing. Now post UI testing, post usability testing, you will go for functional testing. You will go for functional testing. Post this you will go for non-functional testing. Non-functional testing. Non-functional testing. So these are different types of system testings available in the market. So system testing is categorized into GUI testing, usability testing, functional testing, non-functional testing. So coming to functional testing, this name itself says Selenium comes here in the functional testing, not in the non-functional testing, not in the usability testing, not in the GUI testing. Selenium comes in the functional testing. See, this name itself says what you will do. You will test the functionality. So you just take this login functionality only. So for taking the login functionality, what you will do, you will have, suppose there are four scenarios. One is valid credentials, invalid credentials, valid username, invalid password, invalid username, invalid password. These are four types of scenarios. For providing for testing this particular login functionality, nothing but that particular functionality, you will have different test data, which with the help of that different test data you will be testing that particular functionality. So whether it is data driven testing or any another type of testing with respect to functionality comes under functionality testing. So Selenium plays here in the functional testing area. Coming to non-functional testing, this name itself says yes, it will also do some testing, but that particular testing is without functionality. So you take about this stress testing, load testing, right? Security testing, performance testing, all this comes under non-functional testing. You will not test the functionality in this particular testing. You will only limit it to how the system behaves, whether it is let me take big billion days of Amazon. So during big billion days of Amazon, lot of customer base, lot of customer traffic will hit that Amazon application. So at that particular point of time, Amazon application should not have any stoppage. So it should behave as like if one user login. So if lakhs of users logins at the same time, the system should behave as usual. So to ensure that, you will do non-functional testing. So if you talk about this functional testing, you will have this type of testings like unit testing, right? This you might be knowing in the prior, but let me tell you, component testing, right? So also you'll be having smoke testing, which you might be already knowing this. What is smoke testing? What is sanity testing? What is regression testing? What is retesting? Right? Integration testing. Also you'll be having regression testing, right? So etc. I can say these are all comes under user acceptance testing. So all this comes under functional testings. So system testing, sanity testing, all these things. Coming to non-functional testing, you let's take about stress testing. This is one type of testing coming to non-functional testing. So volume testing. Similarly, maintainability testing. Let me write it in the other line. Maintainability. Maintainability testing. Also, you'll have this security testing. Security testing is very, very important nowadays, because there is a statement from World Economic Forum chairman, I think. So he said that in the future there are a lot of cyber attacks going to happen. So as like COVID, which is a small thing when you compare with cyber attacks, like recently I got to know that it is not because of CrowdStrike outage, because of that particular issue which has made by CrowdStrike, not because of that Microsoft applications have gone down. It is a cyber attack. It's only a trial. So clear picture needs to come in future as well. And you can see there is a movie as well which has recently launched, The Lone World or Contagion. If you see these particular movies, after these particular movies, within 1 or 2 years, these particular things have been happened. So nowadays, security testing also plays major role. Security testing. So see why I am saying, because of security. So this particular testing comes under non-functional testing. Like this, you will have compatibility testing, usability testing, performance testing, load testing, right? Performance testing, load testing. So these are all the things which you'll be having as a part of non-functional testing. I will not be going into details, as much details with these particular things. So these are all the things which you need to know as a part of software engineer. Leave about tester or a developer. And there are a lot of things which I need to discuss, but let me open the bridge for your doubts.
This conference will now be recorded.
So we have seen what are the types of system testing. So coming to manual testing. Manual testing. So we need challenges. See, generally you will go for automation testing. So if there is one thing, if you are going for another thing, definitely there are some disadvantages. So similarly, it also applies for testing as well. So challenges in testing, manual testing. So what are the challenges in the manual testing? So if you can see, if you can see this particular PPT which I have prepared, that I will be sharing to you post this session. So generally, manual testing is boring. So lot of things which you need to do repeatedly. If you want to do repeatedly, yes, you might be an expert, but side by side you will also get boring. So it's time consuming. So that means you take this login functionality only. Why I am saying this particular thing, why I am analyzing this particular thing only, because most of the people will know this login functionality. So every time to test a particular functionality, you need to log in again and again. So which is a time consuming. Also it is tedious, difficult to do the repeating things. Yes, it will be also difficult, so it is tedious also. So anything which you do manually can raise errors or can do some mistakes. So any human intervention can do some errors, can make some mistakes. So it is also one of the challenge. Also, very important challenge is retesting, regression testing. So these are the two main challenges with respect to manual testing. So to avoid this, what we will do, we'll go for automation testing. So generally, yes, I will make you understand what is retesting and regression testing. So if you can see, see how does an automation tool works. When you take off Selenium, when you take off Tosca or any another automation tool, before doing some automation, you'll walk through the application. So before walkthroughing that application, you will prepare some manual test cases. You will execute the same test case on the application. So any application which you are going to test, very important terminology. So if you can see, any application which you are going to test, it's nothing but AUTs. So if you are having lot of applications, you will generally call them as AUTs. If there is a single application, you will call them as application under test. Application under test. Very important terminology. Generally, in short, every people will call them as AUT. So AUT means application under test. So this is what you need to do. So any testing, whether it is manual testing or automation testing, will just execute some script, whether it is suppose whether you take off this manual test case, these are consisting of steps. Every step you will execute manually on the application. So at the end of the day, if you are automating that particular scenario or that particular test case, what you will do instead of manual execution, You will write some automation script like this. You will execute that particular automation script on this particular website. Nothing but AUT, application under test. How will you execute this particular automation script? At the end of the day, you will commit your code to GitHub. So with the help of pipelines, you will have some agent machines, group of agent machines. You will call them as a pool. So in that pool, there are a lot of agent machines which is configured by the DevOps team. At the end of the day, you will execute your automation script on that application under test with the help of that particular pipelines. Generally, you'll have a lot of pipelines. Like you take off my organization. We as I have said, we mainly focused on Azure. So we have Azure pipelines. You take off AWS. Generally, most people will use Jenkins. So these are the things which we'll be discussing at last. But for now, this is how you write an automation script instead of manually executing, and you will execute that particular automation script on application under test. And as I have said to you, so there is a main challenge in our manual testing. What is that? It is retesting and regression testing. So what is retesting? When I talk about retesting, this name itself is retest. Test the same functionality again and again with multiple sets of data, with different sets of data. This is nothing but retesting. Coming to regression testing, suppose let me write that particular retesting and regression testing it here. So coming to what are the challenges in manual testing, we have already seen. So main challenges I am writing here, it is retesting, right, as well as regression testing. Regression testing. So these are the main challenges. So out of multiple challenges, these are the main challenges with respect to manual testing. What is retesting? So testing same functionality, testing same functionality with multiple sets of data again and again and again. This is nothing but retesting. Coming to regression testing, if you want to understand this very carefully, let me make you understand one scenario. So I am taking some Gmail application. So in the Gmail application, you will have a lot of modules like a sent application, sent module, inbox module, spam module, right, a starred module. Like this, you will have a lot of modules like a delete folder also will be having. Suppose there is there is some issue in the sent items or sent items folder or sent items module. You can just think of this is a module. This is nothing but a feature. So there is some issue. Say there is a Gmail application. In the Gmail application, you have an issue in the sent items module. What developer does, once QA finds this particular issue or bug, developer fixes that particular bug. So once he fixes, he deploys the same into some QA environment. So at that particular point of time, you'll be testing that particular bug. So along with testing of that particular bug, what you will do, you will also test another modules as well. Let's say you'll have inbox module. You'll have inbox module. So you'll have other module like delete items module, delete items module or feature. You can say, you can say like spam folder or spam modules as well. So because of bug in one module, what you will do, you will perform testing in another module. So why you will perform testing in another module? The reason is because of the bug fix in the sent items feature or module or the functionality, right, or unit. That particular bug fix should not disturb the current features in other modules. So this is what about regression testing. If you see this, so regression testing is a type of software testing executed to check whether a code change in one module has not disturbed current features and functions of an application. So this is what the best example you can just take up. Because of an issue in the one module, that issue fix should not disturb other modules of functionalities or features. To ensure that, you will perform regression testing. So generally, to perform retesting as well as regression testing, you will do, I mean, QA people has to spend a lot of time with respect to retesting as well as regression testing. So to avoid that, what you will do, you will go for automation testing. So if you can see it here, for doing automation, you will use a Selenium tool, Selenium automation tool. It's a functional testing tool performed on the web application to make sure that functionalities of that particular application is working properly or not. So it's a free automated testing suite. When I say suite, it is a group of tools. Not Selenium is not a single tool. It's a group of tools. So for web applications, so for a web application testing across different browsers and different platforms, you will go for Selenium. Generally, it's a free and open source. See, every company which you take, they are not interested to spend their money on paid tools. So what most of the people will do, they will go for free and open source tools. So this is what the main advantage, whether it is you take a MySQL database, it's free and open source, every organization can use. So generally all the things will come in place without any money. So that is the reason every company, so if you can see the market share, which is a free and open source tool, it is having some major market share. So that is the reason whatever you learn at the very beginning, this is what my suggestion, guys, you learn with free and open source tools, because most of the companies will not be interested in paying the things for tools. So learn anything with respect to free and open source. So Selenium comes under this particular category. So testing done by Selenium tool, testing done using this Selenium tool, it's called as Selenium testing. So it's not a single tool, but a suite of tools. Like you'll have Selenium RC, Selenium WebDriver, Selenium Grid, Selenium Integrated Development, Selenium ID. These are all the four components, group of components. Group of components, I can call them as a suite. Selenium is not a single tool, right? It's a group of tools. Generally, for writing the code, you will use a Selenium WebDriver. You will include code with Selenium WebDriver so that you will develop an automation script. So if you can see here. Selenium ID at the very beginning, when Selenium has introduced in the market, it has came with Selenium IDE. So at the very beginning, it's a Chrome and Firefox extension. Add-on means extension. So only for creating simply relative test cases or test suites for creating some simple test cases, not complex things. So at the very beginning, we have Selenium IDE. Another version, another tool with respect to Selenium suite. It is nothing but Selenium remote control, also known as a Selenium 1. So it's the first Selenium tool that uses programming language to develop complex scripts. For developing some complex scripts, you will use Selenium RC. Coming to another tool, it is a Selenium WebDriver, which we'll be using this very, very extensively across organizations, across IT industry, not a Selenium RC, Selenium ID, Selenium Grid. Generally, we will use Selenium WebDriver. So it's a breakthrough that allows your test script to communicate directly with the help of a browser. Yes, we'll be discussing this architecture as well. So it obeys W3C protocols. So instead of JSON wire protocol, that we'll be discussing whenever we are going to start this Selenium session. Coming to this Selenium Grid. So it's a tool that execute parallel tests across different browsers. So you are having multiple browsers like Chrome, Firefox, Edge, Safari, Opera, like you are having multiple browsers. To execute your automation script in multiple browsers, you need a Selenium Grid. Like coming to operating systems, you have Windows operating system, Linux operating system, Mac operating system. To execute your automation script across multiple operating systems, you need a Selenium Grid. So Selenium RC and Selenium WebDriver are merged from Selenium True. If you can see this particular diagram, Selenium suite, you will understand this very easily. Selenium RC, Selenium WebDriver are merged into Selenium True. Now, in the market, you are having Selenium 4 as the updated version. So Selenium ID is one tool, Selenium Grid is one tool. These two are merged. RC and WebDriver are merged because both are meant for creating complex test cases. So that is the reason they have merged it here. So if you can see this Selenium official website, Selenium official website, you will get to know these particular things. So right now in the market, you have Selenium WebDriver, Selenium ID, Selenium Grid only, not Selenium RC. So if you can see, go to downloads. So if you can see in the downloads with respect to Python, right now in the market, you are having 4.23 as the version. With respect to Java, you have another version. Like you'll be having, suppose these are the things which you can see in the documentation page. So right now in the market, you are having 4.xx version. with respect to Selenium. So coming to advantages of Selenium, it's a pure open source tool, supports multiple languages, multiple browsers, multiple operating systems. You can integrate that Selenium with CI/CD tools like Jenkins, Hudson for continuous integration. So it also can be integrated for other open source tools as well. For like you can talk about this PyTest only. So PyTest will have some additional features that can be integrated with Selenium to get the full-fledged automation script. So Selenium can also be used for Android testing, iPhone testing, BlackBerry testing, based application testing. So you can integrate Selenium with RPM. Just now I have recently told to you. So you can leverage Selenium with multiple third-party tools as well. So you can integrate third-party tools with the help of Selenium. So these are the different advantages of Selenium. Then what is the disadvantage of a Selenium? When I talk about disadvantage, so generally, Selenium, most of the people will think that Selenium can be used for backend testing as well. When I tell you this backend testing, API also comes with respect to backend. So Selenium is only meant for web applications testing. Web application testing, nothing but UI applications testing. So take off Amazon, Flipkart. So only with respect to UI, user interface, this Selenium uses. We cannot automate desktop applications. So generally, this is one of the disadvantage. No guaranteed support for Selenium. You need to leverage communities. So there are a lot of communities. If you post your doubt, you'll get the answer in a quicker way. So that is nothing but free communities you can leverage. So it is not useful for image-based testing, OTP testing as well, capture testing as well. So which you will not be able to do with the help of Selenium. So this is also one of the disadvantage. Also, when you execute any script, so if I can show you, this is what the script which we have generated in the previous sessions. Let me show you this as well. Open in browser. I'm just opening this in the browser. You can see this is what the script, this is what the report which we have generated. You can see it here. This is what one test case. So failed, passed, right? Now I'm just expecting collapsing this. You can see this, these are all the things. This is nothing but as a part of report. This particular report is not generated solely with the help of Selenium. You need to integrate this pytest-html, this which is a package to get generated this particular report. So these are some disadvantages of Selenium. This is what with respect to introduction session. In the coming class, we will directly start with respect to Python. I will also discuss this particular syllabus right now. I am just opening this particular bridge so that you'll get comfortable with the doubts which you might be having. So if you can see, I'm just opening the session as well for your doubts. Also, I'll be sharing this particular syllabus document as well with you. So if you can see, this particular course is divided into 8 modules. First thing is automation overview, Python programming, object-oriented programming, very, very important. It's like a heart for every programming language. Just now we have seen how you have implemented this robot framework, which is a keyword driven. You create a function. That particular function is nothing but a method when you create inside a class. Once you know how to create a function, method, class, objects, all these things, you'll be comfortable with any type of a framework. So we'll be discussing this object-oriented programming to an extent. Post this, fourth module is Selenium WebDriver, PyTest. Post this, you need to generate the reports. You need to implement page object model, page object repository, page object pattern that we'll be discussing. Most of the companies will be using this. Very, very important. We'll also discuss these automation frameworks which we'll be having. So at last, we'll discuss this Jenkins. It is very, very important CI/CD tool. Also, we'll discuss this Git and GitHub as well. So if we can walk through this, so I'll just discuss this. I will be sharing this particular document to you guys post this session. You can just go through this. If you have any doubts, you can get clarified. So coming to this Python programming, we'll start from scratch. You don't need to have any basic things in Priya. Just come with a fresh mind. We'll start from how you can install Python, how you can set up Python environment, PyCharm, how you can install all this stuff. So post this we'll discuss operators, conditional statements, looping statements, a list tuple, string, dictionary, set, right, exception handling. So post this we'll be discussing this object-oriented programming principles: class, objects, constructors, overloadings, overridings. Oops, I mean coming to polymorphism, abstract methods as well. So post this we'll start Selenium WebDriver. So in the Selenium WebDriver, we'll see the architecture, we'll see the locators, how you can see how you can identify the elements in the web pages. We'll see the commands, different type of commands, handling web elements, HTML tables, keyboard actions, JavaScript executors, profiles, desired capabilities, handling cookies, headless browser testing. So all the data-driven testing, it's like a heart for Selenium, right? So Python logging module. So just now we have seen how we have logged this particular information. So we need a logging module as well. That also we'll be discussing in Python as well. Post this, we'll discuss PyTest framework, which is widely used in the industry than other frameworks. PyTest is almost, you can see it here, like I can say 90% it is industry used than any another frameworks. So we'll discuss that. We'll generate the reports. We'll also discuss some more automation frameworks. All right. We'll see continuous integration stuff, CI/CD tools as well, that I'll be discussing with you in this particular course. So if you have any doubts, you can ping me anytime. Also, one more important thing. There is one thing which I have not specified in the syllabus. That is, so if you can see, go through this particular syllabus, you will not found this particular thing like handling shadow DOM elements. Shadow DOM elements, very, very, very important interview question. Leave about this interview question. Generally, most of the applications right now are implementing this particular concept, shadow DOM concept. So if you can see, let me show you that simple example. You can see it here. This is what a Google search place, Google search feature. When I inspect this to identify this particular element, this particular element is placed inside a shadow DOM. You can see it's a shadow DOM element. So shadow DOM element handling is very, very complex, very, very important. Most of the applications right now, if you can see, they are implementing this shadow DOM approach only, that I will be discussing. Also SVG elements, scalar vector graphics. So this is also one of the important element, that if you can see graphs like icons, so how you can identify them, that we'll be discussing with the help of this SVG concepts as well. These two I have not mentioned in the syllabus, that I'll be discussing. Also, if I see some good enrollments, I will also discuss this Selenium grid, very, very important thing. Also, we'll also discuss this Docker as well. So if you are having a lot more experience, or if you are starting your career right now, or if you are having some 3 to 4 years of experience, Docker also is continuously used, widely used in the industry along with the Selenium grid. So if I see some good enrollments, I'll be discussing these two things as well, Selenium grid as well as Docker as also. Docker is very, very important. So even though this is a DevOps tool, but Docker is also used in the testing arena, that I'll be discussing this. So yeah, I'll be opening the bridge for your doubts. You can go ahead with your doubts. Yeah, guys, go ahead. I see Aslan Mansoor. You
I have
have
a question,
unmuted.
like how long will be the course?
It's almost 1.5 to 2 months course.
Okay,
I
so it
will I
is
will
around
not
it.
the thing is, everything is covered in a clear way, without any confusion. So I need some good time. Otherwise, I'll not be going to teach this,
Yeah.
right?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Thanks.
yeah,
So this batch would
yeah.
be a weekend batch or regular batch?
It's a weekend batch. Weekend batch.
Saturday, Sunday only.
Yeah, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay. Sir,
7:30 p.m. IST to 9:30 p.m. IST. So today is the introductory session. So that is the reason why I have not even explained the more things, right?
okay. Sir,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
mentioned that limitation of Selenium is we cannot test the API with Selenium.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
However, a rest assured API testing we can do with Selenium BDD Cucumber.
No, no, no. Why you need to go for Selenium? So again, I am saying this is one point which I want to mention you guys. Start your life with Python. Start your life with Python. End your life with Python. End your life
Yeah.
with Python. Okay. So why I am saying this? Right now, every IT industry is moving towards AIML, right? Artificial intelligence or machine learning. So for that, Python is mostly preferred than Java. Java arena is going to over. Python will be the top performer because of its script simplicity. So everybody will adapt to this. You can see this in coming recent 1 or 2 years. You will see the trend will be coming. Also, with respect to your question, with respect to Java for API testing, you will use REST assured. You will use REST assured. REST assured by default will support Cucumber framework, right? Nothing
Yes,
but
sir.
BDD framework. Coming to Python, there is a good library request module for API testing that I'll be launching the course post this particular batch. So I'll be launching this Postman request module. So if required, I will also discuss the SOAP UI, how you can test SOAP, use the SOAP tools, right? SOAP tool as well. So this is also like more than 1 month course. Very, very important for especially for API testing. API testing, right? So once you learn this Selenium, then it is very, very easy for you to understand these particular things. So I'll be covering this in the separate course, not here. In this particular course, for with respect to only UI testing, that is with respect to Selenium. Selenium is
Got
very,
it.
very important. Yeah, yeah. So again, I am repeating: start your life with Python, end your life with Python. Okay. Yeah. Any another doubt, guys? Good doubt. If you are having any doubts, you can do the you can
Sir,
stay here.
what is the
Yeah, yeah.
role of Docker in terms of testing?
See, Docker is nothing but a containerization tool where you will not have host OS, nothing but a host operating system. So without host operating system, you will deploy the applications in the form of containers. Likewise, so what you will do when you develop any automation script, you need to make sure that this particular automation script will run perfectly across multiple browsers, right?
Yes, sir.
Multiple operating systems. So to make that particular thing, to ensure that it is executing perfectly in all environments, across all environments, what you will do, you will just use Docker. In the Docker, you will create a container. With the help of containers, you will just test that particular application across multiple browsers. So each script, if it needs to be executed in Mac, just I am saying, we will create some container. Next, another container for Linux, another container for Windows as well. Like this, we'll have multiple containers. So multiple containers will keep in place, and with the help of those containers, we'll make sure that our particular script which we have written will be executing in across all the environments without any issue. So the script which you have developed should not only work in the Windows, right? So at the end of
Yes.
the day, all the servers are the Linux servers in this world. So you need to make sure that your script is perfectly executing in the Linux environment as well, right? Across
Right.
different environments, I can say. So to make sure that you will use Docker containerization tool. To manage containers, you need Kubernetes. Simple, very simple, in one word. You don't need to
Okay.
take care of managing these containers. That they will be taken by care by SRE or DevOps experts,
Right, sir.
right?
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, guys. Another doubt.
The duration and timing of class.
Uh it's 7:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time, IST. Right?
Duration.
Yeah.
Is a 2 hours program class, right? Or 1 hour?
No, it's not 1 hour. It's 2 hours.
All right. Okay. Okay. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because it's a
How
weekend
many
class, you will have
months?
I mean, if it is a regular session, I will take 2 months generally. If it's a weekend session, literally I will take 1.5 to 2 months also. Yeah, if I feel anything to be discussed even in more detail, I will not at all leave in one class. I will take multiple classes. That is what my bad habit. So you can understand that. If anything, if I feel that needs to be covered a lot, I will take multiple classes. So allow me to discuss that to make you understand very clearly, right?
Sure, sir. Sir,
Yeah.
how many frameworks we will going to cover in this course?
Only one framework, PyTest framework.
Okay. So, as we see in a traditional Selenium with Java, there are, some hybrid keyword driven or data driven frameworks are there. So, like,
See, guys, yeah, let me show you that. So if you can see, we will use PyTest, but the thing is, on the top of this, we will build Selenium hybrid framework. You can see Selenium hybrid framework. We will use a PyTest, right? We will use Python, Selenium, page object model, reports. So these are all the things which you will be getting in this particular course, hybrid framework. Not only
okay.
PyTest, there are a lot of things which you need to integrate. So if you integrate only, you will get the final product, right?
Yes, sir.
So that we will be integrating. As a part of this, we will be discussing hybrid framework. In the hybrid framework, with respect to framework, see, we will use this PyTest, unit testing framework with respect to Python, native to Python,
Okay.
right?
And sir, in weekdays, if students are doing some practice, and uh,
Mm-mm.
they having some trouble or
Yeah,
difficulties
you can reach out to me. You can reach out to me anytime. You can ping me
in
anytime.
weekdays also.
Yeah, in weekdays, yeah, generally I go to office. If I free, I will reply immediately. If not,
Yeah, means
when I see that, I will go through your doubt and I will make you understand. Don't worry.
it would be sir, convenient if you share WhatsApp number, so we just
Yeah,
post
you
our
already
doubt.
have my you already have my WhatsApp number as well in the group, so you can just
Yes,
take
sir.
that. Or otherwise I will be I'll be pinging that separately as well, right?
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, fine. That will be fine. It's my responsibility, right? Don't worry, guys. Still any doubt? I do. This is the
Hello.
very beginning section. You'll not be getting any technical doubts. Even general doubts also, I'm ready to make you understand. Yeah, go ahead. Who is that?
Are we going to have a at least a test project during the Selenium sessions?
Yes. See, post this, we'll implement some project on real-time project. See, at the end of
Hmm.
the day, whatever you learn, if you implement that in a project, that is very important, right? So that yeah, guys, this is what other people maybe might be having the thing in mind also. Post these particular things. See, this is what the framework which I have shown to you, right? Selenium hybrid framework. This is what the document. With the help of this particular document, we'll develop the project from the scratch with the help of all the concepts which we have learned in prior, right? Don't worry. Without project, I will not be going to close this session. You need a project,
Okay.
otherwise you'll not be able to work in the industry, right? You need project.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Good doubt, guys. Still any another doubt? So I'll be sharing the documents to your personal mails. So those who have registered, so you'll be getting this particular PPT as well. So as I have shown to you to your respective
If,
emails which you have shared it to me. Yeah.
sir, how can we register?
Yeah. I hope you already you can ping that in the group. You can register.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
They will reply
Thank
you
you.
back and you can register that,
Okay.
guys. And one more important thing, I'm clarifying you. Everything which I teach you, I'll be giving you the material. With the help of material, you can go through just at the end of this particular course or this particular respective session, just revise that particular material. You'll get all the concepts in clear. So take that printout, practice that particular printout multiple times. So it is very easy for you. Everything which I teach, I will provide you the material without any doubt, with even with code, I mean with the things as well. Let me show you that prior material which I have shared it to previous
Hello,
batches
sir.
as well.
Hello, sir.
Yeah
Hello.
yeah yeah yeah
Yeah,
yeah
I
yeah
want to
yeah
also ask in case someone miss a class, is there going to be a
Mhm.
recorded video to go over and then learn from?
See, if you want a class with respect to recording videos, yes, you can take. But if you have any doubts, I hope you'll not get some appropriate time, right? This is a live batch. If you have any doubts, you can just ask here directly, right?
No, no, I'm
So that's
asking
what my
if I couldn't
intention.
make a class, maybe for one
Yeah,
reason or
you
the
will be
other, I
getting that
couldn't make a
recording
class.
video. Yeah, you will be
Okay,
getting that
yeah,
recording video. Don't worry, don't worry.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So yeah, you will be getting that recording video. This recording video also will be getting, I think by EOD or by tomorrow. So don't worry, you'll get that recording. Otherwise, without recording, suppose if anybody misses, right, how will they will get to know the concept, right? All the concepts are interlinking concepts. You'll get to know all the things, right? So this is what the things which I have shared to previous batches, guys. You
Sorry
can
for
see.
interrupting.
Yeah.
What the how long it will take for completion of this course, Selenium with Python?
See,
When it is
during weekends we'll be covering 2 hour session, right?
okay.
Saturday
Yeah.
2 hours, Sunday 2 hours, right? So it will be
Uh,
almost like it's with respect to weekdays only. So I'll be
uh,
taking even half an hour more as well, because there
okay.
are a lot of concepts which I need to discuss. You can think of at
Okay.
least 1.5 to 2 months, or it may go even more than that,
Okay.
right?
Okay. Fine. Okay.
Because I feel some of the concepts which I will be frequently attending to interviews as well, to keep
Mm.
cope in the market, how the market trends are,
Okay.
how the things are. So if I feel anything which
Okay.
is they are newly asking, I need to make you understand. So that's my
Okay.
responsibility. So only one thing from your side, guys, you need to have some
Mm.
patience. Just attend the
Okay.
class with fresh. That's it.
Okay. Okay. And one more thing, you will be teaching the Python independently, or with the Selenium with Python, you will be teaching.
No, no, no. First, I will
Uh,
start with Python. Post Python,
okay.
I will be starting this
Uh,
Selenium. So Python is separate,
uh,
Selenium is
uh,
separate.
So,
okay. Okay. Fine.
so
See,
how many
at the
sessions?
end of
How
the
many
day,
sessions will
at the
be
end of
for
the day, what
Python?
we will do, we will cover all these things at one place.
Okay. Fine. Okay.
So,
Yeah,
how
yeah.
many sessions will be for Python only?
So if you can see for the previous batch, I have taken almost 30 days. But for you, it may not take more than that. If you can see it here, guys, this is what the previous batch.
Like,
I have almost taken
what,
some 30 days, right? 29 days.
like
So
how much Python syllabus will be covered? Like
see, generally,
another.
yeah, see, with respect to my course, I am not sure what other people cover. So I cover the Python as much as a developer should know. So tester might be knowing the Python very less when compared to developer. But as I have
Yeah,
said this particular point,
yeah,
start your
because
life with Python and end your life with Python. So with this motto, what I will do, I will make you understand the Python as much as more than the developer. So trust me, literally I have taken some 30 days. Even I need next week as well for the previous batch to stop the Python session, because lot of things I need to discuss, starting from the basic print statement to OOPS concepts as well. Right now I am discussing this duck taking philosophy of these OOPS concepts, right? Overloading, overriding, all these things. Literally, this will take more time,
also will
right?
there be any assessment or like students are
Yes, yes, you'll be getting all the
in
assessments.
line with class progress or someone is lacking behind? Will that be also reviewed?
See, coming to review, if you have any doubts, you can ping me. I can clarify. So that itself it's required, right? Is anything more than that you require?
Sir, can we also be having a hands-on project? Are we going to be doing project, hands-on project?
One second, one second. Let me let me clarify his doubt first. Yeah, I see. I have answered your question. I am not sure who is that. Who is that? Who have asked previously the question?
Yeah, I was asking about.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. See, if you stuck anywhere, yes, I am always happy to help you. Don't worry to ask me. Okay, don't hesitate to ask me. You need to ask. You can ping me personally if you feel that it needs to be discussed with me. You can always it is welcomed. Yeah, go ahead with another doubt. Who is that? Who is that? Who is that? Fine then. If you have any
Saying
doubts,
if there's going to be hands-on projects.
yes, yes, there will be a hands-on project. Yes, we'll develop the project from the
Yeah.
scratch. We'll take
Okay.
some live website. We'll develop the project from the scratch.
Okay.
Okay, that as a
Good.
part of
Good.
that, you
Good.
have this particular hybrid framework. This is what the POM document, page object model document. This is what the pattern which we'll be developing at the end of this particular course. Michael, right? I hope I have answered your question.
Yeah. Good. 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 Yeah.
Yeah.
One more thing, I know Python, so but I need only
Mhm.
Selenium with Python. So is it? Can you how I can approach? How can I proceed for that?
See, you already know Python, but other people may
Yes,
not be knowing,
yes,
right?
yes. Yes. That only I'm saying. I need only Selenium with Python for automating
Uh,
scripts. So yeah. So in that
yeah,
case,
I hope.
how I can?
See, this particular course comes along with Python.
Yes.
But what we can do, you can just ping in the group that so that our team will
Okay,
get in
fine.
touch with you, right?
Okay, 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 fine.
Yeah, guys, good doubt, good doubt. Any another people, guys, you need to interact with me. I see Chris, Bindu, Ben, Sanu, who not at all interacted with me. Swati, Swami. Fine then. If you have any doubts, you can stay in the call. Otherwise, you can just go on practice. I'll be sharing this particular document to your respective mail IDs. Just take that and go ahead. Very very important session today. Very basic session today. I hope you
Oh
have got
yes.
some concept clear. Yeah, yeah. Who is that?
Thank you so much, sir. It's
Hi.
Temakaza
Okay.
again. Yes, I
Yeah.
just wanted to find out if, since I'm using APM, is there like some sort of, or what can I say, like should I switch to Selenium even
No,
for
don't
my
switch to Selenium. See, you can switch
application?
to Selenium, but the thing is, see, for a PM also you need Selenium, right?
Yes,
But
yes,
one more
yes, yes.
thing, guys. Uh, don't leave your job right now. Right now, the situation is not at all good. So I hope you have got my point. Whatever you need to learn, try to learn in the recession only. The thing is, recession is a good place to learn. Once recession completed, companies will fall on you, right? Uh, for that
Yes.
particular point, for that particular time, you need to be with all the skills, right? So try to learn not only this particular course. In general, I am saying try to learn whatever you are learning, but don't leave your job right now. This is not the good time to leave. So try to have the things, good skills in your place and go ahead. That's what my suggestion is.
Okay. Yes, I understand this is for automation and I am doing APM with automation, but for part of my manual, can you please kindly advise which are the effective ways that I can use for, like I
Man-
asked before, for DevOps?
Manual testing, right? Yeah, there are
Yes.
there are a lot of things like boundary value analysis, equivalent class partitioning, like that. There are a lot of methods. So if you want that particular material, you just ping me. So I'll be sharing that particular material.
Okay,
So
okay. No,
maybe
it's
it will
fine. I
be
will
helpful
just
to you.
DM
Yeah,
you. Okay. Thank you
yeah,
so
yeah,
much,
yeah,
sir.
yeah. Fine, it's fine.
Sir,
Good.
what's your,
Okay.
may I know your good name and if your number can share?
Yeah, my name is Lakshmi. So I have pinged in the group that for your mail IDs to share the documents. That is what my number. You can save it. You can save it a lot. That is my permanent number. So you can ping me anytime.